For the second time in 5 days, it is the test of Ukraine. Kalinina! Ukraine lead! Barton's pushed at the back, penalty! Roof of the net, no doubt about that finish. Oh, magnificent! Fishlock to the rescue again. It's a decent cross. Oh, it's in! Oh, it's a signal for Wales.
Well, after 2 disappointing draws, Wales have travelled to Croatia as their aim to make it to a first ever major tournament continues. They are through to the Euros playoffs. That's the good news. But they want top spot in their group to ensure a favourable semi-final draw. And a win against Croatia tonight and Kosovo on Tuesday would give them just that. But if Wales lose tonight, the hosts will win the group with a game to spare. One earlier result from this group, Ukraine 4-0 winners over Kosovo. It's all to play for. Game on. Hello there, good evening. Yes, Wales go again this evening and the message from their manager, Rhian Wilkinson, well, there can be no excuses. They are on a mission and they aim to deliver. Well, these two by my side will be hoping that Wales can do just that. The country's all-time top goal scorer, Helen Ward, and Wales forward Hannah Kane. Injured at the moment, but the good news, back training with Leicester. And I bet it feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing to be back on the grass, and as good as it's been here with you for the last couple of times that we've done it, I'm excited to be on the pitch. So hopefully next time round I won't be here. Well,
our loss will be Wales's gain, no doubt about it. OK then, back to this evening, a big match for Wales, and it feels like they need to get their campaign back on track and their performances.
Yeah, it was a difficult camp last time round, the 2 Ukraine games. Everybody went into it fully expecting them to pick up the 6 points, but it was only 2 in the end. That second game in particular was really tough. You know, looked like Jess Fishlock got us out of jail with an absolute wonder goal, but as we're seeing now, the last sort of couple of minutes and a well-deserved equaliser from Ukraine. So even though they were close to winning, it would have masked the performance. So I think they're going to be really on it tonight and looking for those 3 points.
I think the manager summed it up quite nicely, actually. Not the campaign they wanted, but possibly the campaign they needed. A slight reality check after a brilliant start for her.
Yeah, sometimes you need that, and it's like you say, it's a reality check for sure, and one the girls will be absolutely looking forward to be putting right tonight, and they'll be after the performance, but definitely the win to make sure that we put ourselves in the best place forward for the next round.
We have, no surprises maybe, a new captain once again, the 5th under Rhian Wilkinson, Kerry Holland, Liverpool midfielder. Now, her performances on the pitch have been brilliant over the past few games, but as a leader, what are we expecting? What do we know about her?
Yeah, I mean, from my experiences playing with Kerry, I think she's very much a lead-by-example type of player. She's got lots of grit, determination, she's, very direct. She can take a game by the scruff of the neck. Probably not the loudest in the dressing room, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she can't lead the team in other ways. And I think this is probably just reward for those performances, because it was a struggle against Ukraine in both games and no other players really stood out in terms of performance. So, it's a nod to that, I think, and a really good opportunity for her. She's a great girl. She's well liked within the group, kind of comes in that bracket of age where she can relate to both ends of the spectrum, if you like. But I'm excited for her, and I think it's a wonderful honour for her this evening.
Yeah, when I first came into the squad, I'm a similar age to Kerry, and she's got such a wealth of experience already at such a young age still, and I'm excited to see what she can bring to the team tonight. And like Hel said, she's a great leader, and I'm sure it will show tonight.
26. I am so jealous. Anyway, let's have a look then at the team. This is how Wales line up this evening, and it is the same formation, 3-4-3, but a couple of changes. In comes Ella Powell and Rhiannon Roberts, with Lois Joel and Carrie Jones dropping to the bench. Roberts comes into that back 3, with Sophie Ingle, therefore, switching to that midfield. Ingle, by the way, winning her 140th cap tonight. It is quite the achievement. So why the changes? Well, a little earlier, we asked the manager, the gaffer, Helena, with the questions.
Rhian, 3 changes for this game this evening. Talk us through the changes and what are you hoping they can deliver on the pitch?
Yeah, I think we've talked from the beginning of my tenure about working on the depth of this team and different players that deliver different things on any given day. So we're very fortunate to have a very strong bench and finishers that can come in. But I also feel like I've picked the lineup that can get us a strong start today.
The conditions have been a major talking point this week. The sun is setting. It's still going to be hot out there. How have you prepared to manage those conditions this evening?
We have our heat strategies in place. We have ice towels, we have water, we've got Gatorade, we've got the electrolytes around the pitch, but the reality is there's nothing we can control about that. We can't control the length of the grass. You know, this is not our home pitch. We ask for it to be cut, we ask for the holes to be filled. This is the reality of playing away from home, and we've talked about no excuses, and that means that there's things like the temperature that we're just going to have to get on with.
Kerry Holland captains tonight. Do you think this might be your last temporary captain?
I think we're getting close. I think I've talked about it a lot. There's players that wear the armband, and then there's the captains on this team, and there's a lot of them. I think what I've used this group stage for is getting to know the players to make sure that when I do make that decision, I'm making it for the right reasons. And I've picked the right people or the right person to lead this group with the armband.
Yeah, it is an interesting point, isn't it? Do you need a regular captain? Maybe you do for your club, but is country different?
I think it always helps to have the consistency, and you look to a leader, and sometimes it is one specific person that can bring that, and Soph's done it for so many years that this squad's used to that. So I think the sooner the better, probably, but I appreciate that she needs to get to know the squad and to make the right decision for her. This is her way of doing that.
I'm sure it's coming very, very soon. Let's talk about the conditions out there. A heat strategy. It is very, very hot out there. We understand they will get water breaks after 30 minutes and 75 minutes. It is going to be tough out there. The pitch conditions also very, very difficult.
Yeah, it is. It's always tricky going away from home, as Rianne alluded to in her interview, but it is the realities of international football, and most of our squad will have been through something similar in the years gone by. And you just have to deal with it. You know, we've done the same when, I think a couple of years ago, we played France and they wanted it cut to a specific millimetre, and we said, actually, no, now we know you want that, we're not going to do it, kind of thing. So teams do play a bit of mind games. I'm sure the Croatians would like a nice smooth surface as well for them to play, but you just try and get those 1%. But it's something the players will be used to, especially the level they play at. It's not what we want to see in this day and age. We want to see big stadiums, you know, pristine pitches, but it's not the case. And the heat isn't anyone's fault. Some of our girls will be more used to it than others, but it's just something to deal with, and it's what they do on the pitch that counts, and they have to forget everything that's surrounding it.
Yeah, what we would do for a little bit of heat. Anyway, out we go to Croatia. We're ready to go. Let's join our commentary team for this one. Former Wales international Katie Sherwood alongside Simon Davis.
Thank you, Catherine. The thoughts of Katie coming up after the national anthems.
Well, a very good evening. And for Wales, who've already guaranteed a playoff place, it's a big night. Finishing top of Group B4 is very much the aim for Rhian Wilkinson's side, so that they're seeded for those playoffs later this year. In theory, they should have an easier playoff as a seeded team. Well, this Croatia side sees 3 changes from the 2-0 win over Kosovo in this very stadium. The experienced Isabella Leuna comes in up front, along with Ivina Slipčević and Antonija Dulcic. Ana Maria Markovic is the most high-profile player. The Grasshoppers midfielder has 3 million followers on Instagram. Doris Bacic, the Napoli goalkeeper, wears the captain's armband. And leading a team of Spanish officials this evening, referee Marta Huerta de Aza. VAR is not used in this competition. Well, Rhian Wilkinson has made 2 changes from the Wales team that drew 2-2 with Ukraine. Rhiannon Roberts returns to the 11 for her 71st cap. Ella Powell of Bristol City is the other new inclusion. They come in for Lois Joel and Carrie Jones. Jess Fishlock is 1 goal away from equalling Helen Ward's record of 44. Kerry Holland is captain tonight. Sophie Ingle wins her 140th cap. There's a great team spirit in this Welsh camp. Boiling conditions in Karlovac, but I think, Katie Sherwood, that Rhian Wilkinson knows that they need a good performance tonight.
And I think, Simon, it's not just a performance. I think a win is imperative here this evening. If Croatia win this evening, they will top the group. So Wales have to deliver a result here this evening.
And there we see Kerry Holland. What a moment for her. It's been this revolving captaincy, which has been a topic of discussion amongst pundits and fans alike. But it's Kerry Holland who has the armband this evening. Of course, it was a 4-0 win for Wales in the first group game earlier in this campaign, and a similar result would be most welcome this evening. Wales, of course, Katie, we should remember, still unbeaten, which is an important thing to remember.
Yeah, you know, it's not all doom and gloom. It's definitely in their hands. We know we've secured a playoff spot, but a result here tonight, we'd see that favourable draw. It's just certain things we need to tidy up on, and I'm sure this is their time to react and respond to put that right here this evening.
And as Katrin was saying in the studio, there will be water breaks at 30 and 75 minutes. So the conditions will play a part, I'm sure. But with so much at stake, Wales have a clear target in sight, and that is to finish top of Group B4 ahead of those playoffs later this year. Here we go then. A win tonight should mean an easier playoff. That's the theory in this fight to qualify for Switzerland next year in the European Championships. Of course, everything is easy on paper, Katie Sherwood.
Yeah, it's about delivering now, isn't it? We know we have the quality to do that, but it's executing the game plan and just being a lot more, showing that quality and those strengths going forward that we know we can deliver.
And Wales do have quality. Hayley Ladd, one of those who possesses that quality for Wales, and straight away the ball to Rachel Rowe, and Wales showing their attacking intention early on here. Battling stuff from Rowe. Here's Holland, and the referee gives the decision Croatia's way, but right from the off we're seeing an attacking intent from Wales, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I expected to see. Played on the front foot, be really aggressive and put Croatia under pressure early doors. You know, defenders don't like running back towards their own goals, and Wales need to show that they're here for the win.
Vracevic to... Well, it was Kerry Holland who showed the press that I think Wales are going to adopt tonight, and straight away it's an early throw towards Kelly Barton. Holland trying to find room to cross past Jelencic. And Wales will take confidence from the fact that they did convincingly beat Croatia earlier in this campaign. And that was such a good start to the campaign. I think that is probably what made the Ukrainian results, the 2 draws against them, Katie, all the more disappointing perhaps, because expectations had been raised.
Yeah, we really set the bar, didn't we, in the first 2 games, you know, hit the ground running, and then we just couldn't hit those heights again against Ukraine.
Good header from Evans. Ingle goes up for it. 140 caps for Sophie Ingle. Still shy of the total reached by Rhian Wilkinson, which was 181 for Canada, by the way. I'm sure she will achieve such a target, such as her importance for Wales. And that is so much quality in that midfield. Ingle, Fishlock, Rachel Rowe, of course, now at Southampton. Had a great season at Rangers. Ball goes to Evans of Manchester United. And Wales will finish the group against Kosovo on Tuesday. Of course, there are so many permutations about what can happen, but I think Wales will just have to concentrate on the here and now and what happens tonight as Holland chases down the ball. And it's away in the end by Jelencic. It's Fishlock with the cross. And that's all Wales can do, just concentrate on the here and now, not worry about the ifs and buts at the end of the campaign.
It's just trusting that they can pull out the performance that we know they're capable of. Those four in midfield, in Harry James, Jessica Fishlock, Rachel Rowe, Sophie Ingle, they would be starting players in many teams, and to have all four in those central areas is so key in how this team perform. And you can get the wing backs involved as well. You know, that's five pushing forward to support.
Ball goes out for a throw. Well, it's been all Wales so far in this opening 3 minutes against this Croatia team who have never qualified for a major tournament as an independent nation. Of course, Wales, that is very much the aim as well, of course, for Rhian Wilkinson. Brandon Roberts to James in a deep position.
You can see early on, Simon, they're sitting in that low black block. They're going to try and frustrate Wales.
There's Evans' ball. It's a decent one. Fishlock lays it off to James. Well, it was there to be hit. And it was a simple ball over the top and the cushioned pass from Fishlock to James.
And that's why I love seeing Jessica Fishlock playing in those advanced positions. She'll find those pockets of space, and she's so intelligent. Just a lovely little touch into Harry James, just bringing others into play.
Well, we saw what Jess Fishlock could do against Ukraine. Yet again, another spectacular goal for Wales, underlying her importance. And a moment of magic would be most welcome tonight as well. Here's Holland. James has made the short run. Here's Barton. Holland with space. It's a very compact defence, as you say, Katie, as Fishlock tries to find room. Holland's ball. Easy one for Bacic, but yet, 5 minutes into this game, we're already seeing the sort of defensive tactics being adopted by Croatia.
Yeah, but it's encouraging signs from Wales, you know, committing players forward. We know we're going to have to unlock a deep defence. It's going to take patience. It's going to take, you know, speed of ball play, quick passes, everything that this team is able to do.
Rowe. Falls to Fishlock. Roberts, nice pass. Rowe is onside. Well, Croatia were calling for the flag. It was just a really well-timed run by Rachel Rowe, who, as a player, is embarking on a new challenge herself this season.
Yeah, just recently signed for Southampton, hasn't she, after a fantastic season in the Scottish League. But she's such an important player for Wales. She'll roam, she'll drift, she'll try and get on the ball in those pockets of space. She's a real nuisance in attack.
Yeah, exciting times for Rachel Rowe, as you say, after that double-winning season at Rangers. Here is Harry James, playing for Seattle Reign. Ball spreading out far left towards Jess Fishlock. Patient stuff this from Wales, and I think this is pretty much how it went earlier in the group. Wales saw a lot of the ball, and I think patience needed here.
You can see the rotations in midfield as well.
Rowe adds to that and wins the free kick, Katie.
Yeah, and it all comes from those rotations. You have Harry James dropping in, and then she's able to go into that advanced position, and Sophie Ingle drops in. But this is what Rachel Rowe is so good at, cutting inside, and like I say, just being a nuisance.
Quickly taken free kick, and Holland's ball didn't get past the first defender. Jelencic. Proud moment for her tonight, Kerry Holland, to wear that captain's armband. There's much debate about whether it should be passed around as it is at the moment, but for Kerry Holland, a real 100%er in terms of when she plays for Wales. It's a terrific honour.
Yeah, she's been Wales' stand-up player, I think, so far in this campaign. You know, she's been a powerhouse. She's played a number of different positions and done a fantastic job wherever she is. And like Helen Ward said, it's thoroughly deserved. It wouldn't be my option to rotate the armband round, but she's still getting to know her players.
Well, Hayley Ladd, a bit too relaxed there, almost letting in Leuna. It was a risky play. And here is Holland again, up against Jelencic. Cross not quite there. I think the target really was that far post and Ella Powell.
But that's what Kerry Holland is very good at. She loves those 1v1. She's able to shift the ball left to right. It's just that quality now on the delivery.
Here we see Nenad Gracan, 62 years old, a former international himself, played for the former Yugoslavia in the 80s. Was an Olympic bronze winner in Los Angeles. And here is Powell with the throw. Bartner's had to drop deep. Kelly Bartner's found herself in the starting 11 again. In many ways, Elise Hughes' injury helped that, unfortunately. But certainly has contributed with the goals. And Wales have got to be careful here. The break is on for Croatia. Mukalica needs supports. And the first real attack for the home side. And the pass from Kresnaric didn't quite reach its intended destination. But I suppose that's the danger, Katie. If Wales push forward, they could be vulnerable at the back.
Yeah, and we've seen it in the previous games, you know, when you do turn over the ball in those central areas and you've committed players, that transition is so important to get back and reorganise yourself and not leaving those three centre-backs vulnerable.
First real touch for Olivia Clark, the Wales goalkeeper. Finds Rowe. James. The surging ball was intended for Fishlock. She gets it in the end. Ingle. Tackle from behind, and it is a free kick for Wales. It was Leuna, just with a flailing leg. No arguments from her. Hayley Ladd. Uncharacteristic mistake from Hayley Ladd earlier. We saw that against Ukraine in the last and the second of the two games against Ukraine. There were just sloppy errors at the back from Wales, and they looked to cut those out. Here's Rowe. Fishlock. And the intricate passing eventually cleared away by Croatia, and the break is on again. It's Rhiannon Roberts tracking back against Markovic. Good vision. Leuna is waiting in the middle. In towards Leuna, good header from Evans. And Kerry Holland and James will get it away. Well, for the second time in as many minutes, as Croatia win a free kick, we've seen the home side, Katie, really threaten Wales.
Yeah, you know, we've mentioned it already, haven't we? It's great committing players, but you have to have that stability, and you have to have, you know, at least one of those holding midfielders protecting the three centre-backs. And you have to match that recovery. And then we forced our own mistake there, and we've given Croatia an opportunity with a free kick.
It was Rachel Rowe, the culprit. And the first set piece for Croatia to threaten this Welsh defence. As you can see, all lined up on the 18-yard line there. Big gap between defence and goalkeeper Olivia Clark. It's Leuna, an international since 2010, vastly experienced player with this free kick. And it's away, eventually by Powell. Markovic. Easy one for Clark.
Yeah, it's an in-swinging ball in, and we don't make the first contact. We manage to clear the second ball, but it's just those warning signs, isn't it?
I'm sure Rhian Wilkinson will be aware of that. She said herself in her press conferences this week, Rhian Wilkinson, that Wales have got to be more level-headed in those areas, particularly late on after that late goal against Ukraine.
I think this team has been built on, you know, solid defensive foundations, and whilst we're trying to develop our attacking game, we've lost that a little bit, and there's definitely an area we need to tighten up on.
Rachel Rowe takes on one player. You can see she was going for that shot. She was looking for the room and tried to feed the ball through to Ella Powell. Always got that vision, Rachel Rowe.
Yeah, she's always looking to link up, isn't she? She's trying to create herself that little bit of yard to get the shot off herself, but she'll look to bring players into play.
Poor clearance from Jelencic. Barton. Fishlock wants it. Into Rowe. Plenty of red shirts here. And again, Jelencic not doing anything too risky. Well, as much as we wince every time Croatia go forward with the numbers that they can provide, Wales are doing the same. Ball in towards Fishlock! Brilliant! In off the crossbar. Wales up and running. And Fishlock has equalled Helen Ward's goal-scoring record. She has made history, and there's more to come.
Well, it always seems to be Jessica Fishlock in the right place at the right time. Always looking to poach those goals around the box, but it's patient play from Wales. We know they're going to have to break down a real stubborn defence. And they found a way here. Kerry Holland in that advanced position. Great combination play around the box. Lovely little dummy by Sophie Ingle, knowing Jessica Fishlock is in the position behind her, and what a finish.
And that is 44, equalling Helen's record. And I'm sure that our studio guest will be as pleased as anyone to see Jess Fishlock reach that milestone. And she could well break that record tonight. But it's 1-0 to Wales, that's the important thing. Here is Anhara James. That gives Wales that bit of confidence now, Katie.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off, doesn't it, getting that early goal.
Swooping ball from Roberts, drop by the keeper. Foul by Barton. Because the longer it goes without scoring that goal, it can get a bit edgy. It's just set the tone for the evening, perhaps.
Yeah, you can get frustrated, can't you, when a team is sitting in that low block and you know they have one thing on their mind, just to play direct when they do win the ball. But Wales have the quality to break down any team in front of them. It's just patient play. We haven't seen their best quality on the ball in the last two games.
And it's a free kick to be taken by Bacic, the former Juventus goalkeeper. In fact, she's left it for Jelencic to take it instead. And the onus is on Croatia now to attack Wales. Fishlock. Also, if Wales can get the victory, as we said at the start of the evening, takes the pressure a little bit off that Kosovo game, a game they would be expected to win, let's face it, on Tuesday in Llanelli.
Yeah, but they don't get the result they need here this evening. That game then becomes a really high-pressure game.
Yeah, nothing is ever straightforward when it comes to Wales. We've been used to that.
And it's also the confidence that this team really needs.
Well, Bacic came out to attack the ball towards Barton. Well, let's hear from Helen Ward, our studio guest. And Helen, your record has been equal, but I'm sure you're delighted for Jess Fishlock.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've played with Jess for 15 years and of all the players to do it, I knew it was going to be her eventually, and it's been coming, hasn't it, for a few games now. But a wonderful finish from a wonderful player, and she deserves every plaudit she gets. I'm still hanging on in there as the joint record goal scorer at the moment. She's got about 1 million more assists than me, but it won't be long until she takes that crown for herself, and she absolutely deserves it.
Thank you, Helen. Very gracious of you as well, and I know that she's a great friend of yours, so yeah, it's wonderful to see that 44th goal for Jess Fishlock, who's on the ball now. And what a strike it was. Nice pass that. Barton in towards Holland. And that really sums up Jess Fishlock. You know, not just the amount of goals that she scores, Katie, but the quality of them as well.
I think she's someone who has consistently delivered over 150 times. You know, she's the whole package. She's a leader. She scores goals, and they've mostly come from those midfield positions. And some of the goals she scored, absolute worldies. And at times she's made the extraordinary look routine. That's the type of player she is. And she's done it time and time again. And like Helen Ward said, if someone's going to take that title off you, you don't mind if it's Jessica Fishlock.
Well, records are there to be broken, aren't there? And, you know, Fishlock has already got the caps record, and there are many more to come. There's always been that question about whether she will call it a day, whether, you know, this would be her last campaign, but she seems as good as ever.
I think that's testament to Jess, though, the fact that she's kept herself in such great physical shape over the years, and the fact that she's gone from continent to continent and played in so many teams is absolute testament to her and the professional that she is.
Crossfield ball from Roberts to Gemma Evans. Powell to her left. Here is the Bristol City player. Could win a corner here. Well, the referee, I think, has penalised Dulcic here, or in fact has given the decision the other way. I have to feel that was no, it is a Wales free kick, and it is going to be Rachel Rowe to take. These set pieces are key as Wales look to double their lead here.
Yeah, they're so important, because we know as we go through the playoff process and we play against better opposition that we have to be effective in these positions, because they may be our only opportunities when we play against higher ranked teams.
Rachel Rowe, the new Southampton player, ready to take this kick. Fishlock, the furthest player forward for Wales by that Croatian goal. It's a low ball in towards Fishlock. Whether that was deliberate, it is a corner. Fishlock had made that little run into that near post area. And it's a short ball this time. James. Holland's cross. Barton on that back post. Always struggling to get hold of that. Falling behind as she went to get that header in. But an encouraging 20 minutes, I'd suggest, Katie.
Yeah, we expected a reaction, didn't we, from those two previous games, and that's exactly what we've seen. We look more assured in our build-up play. And I really think this formation does suit Wales.
That's a peach of a ball for Fishlock, and it's another corner. And a big thumbs up from Jess Fishlock, and rightfully so. Wonderful pass.
Yeah, it's that movement that we didn't see in the previous games, isn't it? Jess, she'll drift into those wide positions and pick up balls in those spaces, because the gaps are there to do that.
Holland with the corner. Kerry Holland, this her 34th cap, with the captain's armband as well tonight. The referee just having a quiet word with Fishlock and Jelencic. There's lots of pushing and shoving in there. That's where Holland puts this. Got a flat delivery. Ball in from Barton. Could fall to James. And Croatia all over the place at the moment, trying to get the clearance away. Here's Ingle. Holland. James. Well, the attacking has been relentless so far. And it's Holland again. And another corner.
Yeah, they're full of confidence, aren't they? They're playing the ball really well in those combinations around the penalty area and really putting Croatia under pressure.
Well, Krasnaric in some pain there. And has gone to ground. I think it was just a flailing hand from Ingle, nothing to...
There's nothing in that at all, Simon.
You know, you try and be kind about these situations, but dearie me.
I think she's just trying to buy her team some time.
Well, Croatia temporarily down to 10. I think that, I mean, from the referee's point of view, you know, any head injury or what's deemed to be a head injury, facial injury, and the game needs to stop. I think she's just been ushered off the field to receive treatment, and that could work to Wales's favour. Words of wisdom from Fishlock to Evans. You know, one thing Rhea Wilkinson did say when she got the job is that there are many captains in this team, regardless of whether you wear the armband or not. And Fishlock is certainly one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's Holland, the captain for tonight, to take this corner. Croatia want to be restored to 11 players, but Krasnaric waiting for the go-ahead to come back in. As they're temporarily down to 10, and here go Wales again. It's Rowe with the cross. I'll be disappointed with that one, but... Well, that's a tug of the shirt, and Mikalica will be penalised here. Well, cynical stuff.
Yeah, it's frustration there from the player, isn't it? It's a great turn by Rachel Rowe, and it's a cynical challenge. There's another opportunity for Wales to put in a set piece.
And again, Kerry Holland standing over it. Perhaps the only surprise so far is that it is just 1-0. Holland's delivery to the back post this time. Header from Roberts. Looping one. Easy for Bacic.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough power on the delivery, was it, to generate any power towards goal?
But it's been one-way traffic, you have to say. Aside from the odd counter-attack from Croatia, we have been glancing to that goal on our right-hand side.
Yeah, it's been complete dominance from Wales in possession. Something that I expected anyway. I thought Croatia were going to sit in that low block and try and frustrate Wales, but they're not as compact as I thought they would be, and the gaps are definitely there for Wales to exploit.
Another really nice ball forward to Kerry Holland, who's in here. Could go it alone. Tries to set up Ingle. Here's Powell. Straight at the keeper. Well, they're all taking pot shots now. James. Rowe. And Croatia really struggling to contain Wales now. And though they get the decision, Wales will perhaps be disappointed that it's not more than 1-0.
Yeah, it's a great ball through by Gemma Evans. She breaks the line, and it's Kerry Holland again, just driving inside into the box. But it's so congested in the penalty area. There's so many numbers around the ball. But this is what she's great at. But it's in these moments, it's just that final ball, isn't it? Picking out that player.
And there were a number of players that they could have been picked out there. And here comes the first water break. We knew that it was roughly going to be around 30 minutes, so it's 5 minutes earlier than we expected. But should point out the conditions are boiling in Karlovac. 42 degrees, the highest temperature we were hearing. And I think that takes its toll on players at the stage of the calendar as well, the football calendar, the end of the regular season. Yeah, fitness does play a part.
Yeah, it's a difficult time for Wales coming into this game because a lot of the players are out of season or they're just at the beginning of pre-season. So those usual physical levels that you're able to hit in 90 minutes of football, they're not quite there yet. And it doesn't matter how much running or fitness you're doing outside of the game, there's nothing like match fitness, is that sharpness and those first 5 yards, that explosion. So it'll be tough, and especially in these temperatures.
And there we see Rhian Wilkinson barking orders at her players. I think she'll be delighted with how things have gone in this opening 26 minutes. You know, even if Jess Fishlock hadn't scored that goal, I think Wales have shown a dominance that we hadn't seen in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, and I think we also have to put into context that this is a team still going through transition. There's a new manager, there's no captain in place yet, and Wilkinson is still getting to know her players and find a balance in this group. So she'll be delighted that the pressure is off a little bit and they found that early goal.
And there will be another water break in the second half, because I think in this heat, if there are any stoppages, then players will take advantage of that and go over and get the fluids on board. Evans chasing this one back, has the option of going back to Clark, but shows great calmness. Yeah, Rhian Wilkinson, a huge fan and a huge admirer of Gemma Evans. I remember speaking to her when she got the job. She said to have a left-sided left centre-back is such a luxury that you don't always have in football.
Yeah, it just gives you that balance, doesn't it? Someone who's natural on that side of the field. And Gemma Evans, she's such an important player. Her physical attributes that she gives in that position.
Markovic up against Evans. It's not a bad cross. And Kaylee Barton helping out the defence. I think Holland just telling everyone to settle down here. Of course, the next game is on Tuesday. And that game live on BBC Wales television against Kosovo in Llanelli. And then the playoffs will be later this year. It's worth pointing out, actually, if Wales were to finish level on points with Croatia for some reason in this group, then it would go to head-to-head results. I know that's differed from previous campaigns. It's a real nightmare to plan for, actually, for the Wales camp, because it seems to me that the rules keep changing with every competition.
I have no idea. Wales just need to win, that's all I know.
And that's the message, plain and simple, from Rhian Wilkinson. As Holland takes this throw-in. You can hear the Welsh fans as well who've made the trip, cheering on the team. Rhiannon Roberts. Well, it was well read that by Olivia Clark. Fishlock overhit for Powell.
I think that's where she wants Powell to be, though. Keep the width, stretch the play. Because that is the ball. When the player's all down that one side, the switch is on.
8th cap for Ella Powell, the Bristol City player. Oh, she made her debut all the way back in 2018 under Jane Ludlow against Portugal. Good run here from Holland, who has seen a lot of the ball on this Welsh right. Trying to link up with Rowe. Just trying to find a way through towards Barton. She has been in the thick of everything, Rachel Rowe.
Yep, she always is. She's the attacking threat that Wales look to make something happen, to try and unlock the defence.
Clark looking for Holland. Very good communication from Clark between keeper and defender, who has established herself now as the main choice goalkeeper in place of Laura O'Sullivan, who's been her best supporter, according to Clark. Has been great competition between those two, but great camaraderie as well. Is Barton on side here? She is. 1-2 with Holland. Fishlock waiting in the middle. Comes out to James. Ingle to Fishlock. Barton! Won't count. Offside. Good finish. Swung her left foot at it, Kaylee Barton. but it won't count.
Yeah, as soon as she touched that ball, you could see that she was offside. But that was really good build-up play from Wales. They play right through the thirds there. You can see she's a lot offside. Just got to check her line there. But really good build-up play from Wales. Patient play to get in behind Croatia.
And that's what you'll get from Kayleigh Barton. Full commitment. And it wasn't too long ago that we were seeing her help the defence out as well. So a real asset on both ends of the pitch for Wales.
Oh yeah, her work rate, her work ethic is phenomenal. She'll run all day long. She'll run through a brick wall for you, Kayleigh Barton will. And I think this system that we're playing now, it allows Jess, Fishlock and Rachel Rowe to be closer to her so she's not so isolated.
Hayley Ladd. James. Barton in a deep position, finding Roberts. Every single outfield player now, as you can see in that Croatia half. It's through to Fishlock. Well, I thought she was going to go it alone, tried to set up Rowe, falls to Ingle. Good save. Tried to nestle it in the corner. Sophie Ingle.
Yeah, and it actually comes from Kayleigh Barton. She's picked up that deep position, that rotation with Jessica Fishlock, which allows Jess to get in behind the defence. And it just falls to Sophie Ingle, but she just can't adjust her feet and get the power she needs to find the back of the net.
It is another corner, though. And another test for Bacic. The fourth corner for Wales. Rose delivery. Header from Ingle. Easy one for the keeper. I think it was a case of Sophie Ingle being surprised how free she was in the penalty area there.
Yeah, it was very easy, wasn't it?
Mikolica battling with Roberts. I think it may have gone out there, but Mercer got away with that one. Ladd. Rowe. Well, it's opened up now. Oh, good interception. You have to say Jelencic made a vital touch there because Fishlock was in.
Yeah, the distances between the unit for Croatia, the defensive unit and the midfield unit, they're being stretched. Wales have more time on the ball than they actually think to pick up those passes.
But it is striking, isn't it, when Wales break forward, the options that they have.
I still think we can move the ball quicker though, Simon. I know the temperatures are difficult, but that's how you're going to create the chaos in the defence, by moving the ball quickly, making them shift positions, and that's where the gaps will open.
And 1-0 is still a slim lead, isn't it? You don't want to be in a situation going late on in the game at 1-0 because, as we know, anything can happen in these games. As we saw against Ukraine, that late goal costing Wales a win.
Yeah, can we see a more ruthless side of this Welsh team? Really go up the gears and really punish Croatia, because this game has the opportunity to do that.
Ball over the top to Markovic. Clark comes to collect. Read it well. I think she was unsure about whether to stay or go, but did well.
Yeah, and that's going to be their option all game, isn't it? That direct ball. So the back three, they've got to have their positioning right, ready for that transition.
Fishlock. James. Rowe in space. Always looking for that shot. You can see it in her eyes as Holland forces another Welsh throw. I should point out as well, at this stage, goal difference means very little, because if Wales do find themselves in a situation where they're level on points with the team, it comes down to head-to-head. Wales have already beaten Croatia, of course, as all goes over Holland's head. But with, what, less than 10 minutes to go until half-time, Katie, Wales, OK, they could be more ruthless, but it's been good stuff so far.
Yeah, you know, coming away from home under pressure, going in at half-time 1-0 up, they would have taken that any day. And if you consider, you know, where they are in the season, they're out of season, they've executed perfectly this first half.
Change of shirt for Jelencic. Ball forward from Ladd. James. Tackle from Leuna. Markovic is offside, came back from an offside position. Can't really afford to do that when chances are few and far between. That will disappoint the Croatian manager, Gracan. Harry James has looked assured tonight in the centre of midfield. And Holland's been a threat. Here she goes again. Did it go out? Well, no whistle. Powell, late challenge, and that will be a yellow card. And I don't think that Slipčević can have any complaints about that. Sorry, it was Leuna. She had every intention to go for it, Katie, but...
It's reckless, though, isn't it, Simon? You can't do that in the modern game. Luckily, Ella Powell, she's OK.
And more pressing for Wales is the position that it's in, Katie. It's a dangerous one.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a number of players lining up over this ball who would fancy a go.
Rachel Rowe being the most obvious of those, and she can score from this sort of range. We've seen it in the past. And it's a three-woman wall to try and get past. Maybe the angle is more acute than she would like, but you wouldn't put it past Rachel Rowe, would you?
No, she's definitely got this in her locker, hasn't she? We've seen it time and time again. She likes a shot from distance.
It's the new Southampton player. Well, she goes for the back post instead to Evans. A clash of heads between her and Jelencic. And it's Croatia who get the decision. Yeah, it was probably a bit too far out in the end for Rachel Rowe. It was probably the right choice.
Yeah, it maybe would have been a little bit ambitious, even for Rachel Rowe.
Well, Croatia, in their last Nations League campaign, lost over 2 legs to Norway to miss out on promotion to the Nations League A. Lost in 2 legs, 3-0 and 5-0 in those playoffs. They were 4th in World Cup qualifying as well, behind Italy, Switzerland and Romania. So when the draw was made, from a Welsh point of view, I think it was quite realistic for Wales to aim for that top spot, and a win tonight will go some way to securing that. Holland has stayed down here. And Jelencic as well. It seemed like an accidental clash between the two players who I think showed abdominal pain here.
Yeah, it's late, isn't it, from the Croatian defender. Great bit of skill by Kerry Holland just to knock the ball around the corner. She knew exactly what she was going to do before the ball came into her.
Well, I don't know how good Jess Fishlock's Spanish is, but she's getting a message across to the referee.
She has many skills, but I don't know if speaking Spanish is one of them.
She's acting as physio. She can do the lot, Jess Fishlock. Well, one thing we know that she can do is score great goals, and she is the reason that Wales are in front in this game. In off the crossbar, and even by her standards, an excellent goal.
Yeah, and we've seen time and time again, haven't we, when we've needed something to happen. Jess had been that player who's taken the game by the scruff of his neck and carried us at times and found a way to get that goal and get us over the line. And like I say, she's consistently done it, you know, for years. We're just glad that she's one of us, she's one of ours.
Well, good to see Kerry Holland back on her feet. We'll have to keep a close eye, and I'm sure Rhian Wilkinson will as well. Did seem to be in some discomfort getting up there. I think with half-time looming, probably no need to make an imminent change, but she's seen a lot of the ball on this right-hand side. You could see her there in the middle of your picture, just hobbling a bit.
Yeah, it'd be really disappointing if she had to be changed on the day that she's captain in this team.
You can see she doesn't seem right, does she? Hopefully that's something that can be addressed during the break. Evans. Rowe on the turn. Had 3 players to beat there. They were surrounding Rachel Rowe, and here comes a counter-attack. Markovic up against Roberts. Tries the shots. Roberts stood firm. And Croatia forced all the way back to the halfway line. Roberts did her job.
Yeah, she stood firm, didn't she? She absolutely did her job, but again, it's a warning sign to stay alert when we do lose the ball.
Yeah, it's that ball over the top for Markovic to get on the end to. Leuna wants the ball from a high position. It's a long shot and an ambitious effort, to say the very least, from Neva Clark.
They're just areas we need to tighten up on because we have been exposed. And she's quick. Sometimes you just need that no-nonsense defending, don't you? Just clear your lines.
Well, the good thing for Wales is that Olivia Clark has been rarely troubled. As we say, with the score then up 1-0, Wales are far from reaching the finishing line yet. Here's Fishlock. And has spotted the run of Kelly Barton. Throwing Croatia. It was elbow to elbow with Vracevic.
Yeah, Barton's always going to look to really stretch and get in behind. But the conditions are difficult. Can we keep the ball a little bit more and play to our strengths?
Ingle. Rowe. Oh, it's another rough tackle on Rachel Rowe, and that is the only way that Croatia can stop her at the moment. Pazil this time, and this is in shooting range.
Yeah, and Rachel Rowe does that so well. The ball's coming into her. She knows exactly what to do. She just shifts the ball, and she's too quick for the defender, and she has to foul her to stop her.
It's central and ideal for someone like Rachel Rowe. Fishlock's there too. Kerry Holland and James also standing by this one, and you could see the eyes of Bacic, the goalkeeper, just trying to organise her wall here. Ideal for a right footer, a left footer. I think Kerry Holland may even fancy this, actually. A 5-person wall. You can see Evans standing in front of the wall there. Has that made a path for Holland? Good save. Well worked free kick, really. Just perhaps didn't have the power.
Yeah, she manages to get it over the wall, doesn't she? But it's the power in the end. The goalkeeper's able to shift across the goal, and it's more comfortable than she made it look.
It is another corner, though. Can Wales get a second in added time of this first half? Rowe's corner to Barton, falls to Ingle. Rowe. Back out to Ingle again. Danger still not away for the home side. Eventually away by Bazil. Well, we're closing in on half-time. Katie, what would be your assessment of how Wales have done in this first 45?
I think a real comfortable, composed first half, dominating possession. I still think Wales could go up another gear. They could move the ball a lot quicker and really punish this team. But they'd be happy going in half-time, 1-0 up, in complete control.
Roberts. James. No need for any nonsense now. Just before half-time. As Katie was saying, to go in 1-0 up is a real bonus. Could get better here with Holland. Seems to have recovered from that earlier knock. Nice pass from Fishlock. James in a wide position. Here's Holland. Took a heavy touch. A real shame, because it was an enterprising move.
Yeah, and that's the free-flowing football we've seen in the first two games, that coordinated movement from the midfield and really disorganising their back line.
Header from Roberts, who's been solid. I think you can say that for a lot of the defenders. I think a big performance expected defensively as well, because there were mistakes in those games against Ukraine that needed ironing out.
Yeah, and they need this confidence going into the next few games.
It's a nice first touch from Mukalicha. And that's half-time. Well, Jess Fishlock equaling Helen Ward's record in an historic first 45 minutes, in off the crossbar, a typical Fishlock finish to see her move on to 44 goals and equal Helen Ward's record. But more importantly, from Rhian Wilkinson's point of view, it is Wales who have been totally dominant. It is Wales who have the lead in Karlovac, and it's thanks to Jess Fishlock. It's half-time, and it's Croatia 0, Wales 1.
Yes, Wales have played in a perfect first half there. A 1-0 lead after 45 minutes. And who else but Jess Fishlock with the goal. She is now Wales's joint all-time top goal scorer. And that word joint is very important, isn't it, Helen Ward? She's smiling at me. Right then, let's have a look then at the stats. And Wales, well, they have dominated, haven't they? Look at that possession, 74%, 10 shots, 6 on target. But only that one goal. I'm wondering, will they feel slightly frustrated with that? But they do have the lead. That is the positive, and a near-perfect performance. As I said, in that first half, they'll be very pleased, won't they? Because the conditions, very, very tough, Anna. The heat, and also the pitch, which is very, very slow. But they are, at the moment, enjoying themselves out there, intent.
Yeah, they're absolutely dominating, and it's something that we're loving seeing, and hopefully they'll go out in the second half and do the same. We'd like to see some more goals. Like, we've had a lot of shots, we've had a lot of set pieces, and now we just need to be a little bit more clinical. But we are absolutely dominating, especially down the right-hand side, and Kerry's having a great half, and she's dominating in her 1v1s, getting loads of crosses in the box. And yeah, like I say, now we just need to get on the end of them a few more times.
Hannah is so greedy. We're only 45 minutes in. Croatia sitting in that low block like we expected. But Wales, they are finding little gaps, which is encouraging.
Yeah, they are. They're pulling apart the Croatian players all over the place. And like Hannah said, there's a lot coming down the right-hand side in particular. And Wales are making the most of that. They have dominated. They do need to make some more count, but I don't think, touch wood, the result's in any danger now. They do have that 1-0 lead.
You've jinxed it now. You have commentator's curse. Right, you've both mentioned it, the right-hand side. Let's have a little look at it then, Hannah. What's impressed you with this play?
Yeah, we were saying whilst we were watching that the combination play between a few key players. Kerry's beating her full-back every single time and putting in some good crosses in the box. And here you can see, even though the Croatian team are setting up defensively, there's so many gaps and they're utilising the space really well. And yeah, the combination play is great, and we saw that in the first goal.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if it's a tactic. You know, the team's obviously done their homework on Croatia and maybe have identified the left-hand side of Croatia's team as being a weakness, perhaps, or that's just where our stronger players maybe are. You know, you look at the likes of Rachel Rowe and Harriet James, Kerry Holland, Rhiannon Roberts, I think, as well. They're linking up a lot, and that's exactly where the goal came from with those sorts of players. OK, well, you brought it up, Helen, that goal. It does mean that Jess Fishlock is now Wales's all-time joint top goal scorer. You're in good company here. It is a fantastic... We'll talk about the goal first of all, and then the importance of it. It is a fantastic goal, isn't it? Some lovely play in that box from Wales. Yeah, really intricate play out on this right-hand side again. Kerry Holland, Rachel Rowe plays a lovely ball into Haz, but what I love here is the awareness of Sophie Ingle to leave it for her teammate Jess Fishlock. And, you know, also when you look at Jess in the background of this shot, she looks like she's not interested. She's bent over, and that's like a full sense of security for Croatia. And then she comes alive and bang, it's in the back of the net before they know it. And I will be having a word with her about that little celebration that we saw afterwards when I see her this weekend. What did she do? I missed it. There we go. OK, yeah, she's rubbing it in there. We'll have to have a word. It is a significant goal, as we mentioned. You gave a lovely tribute, actually, after she scored. You are in great company there now, and maybe, we don't know, but she could go on to get that record. And what a player to get another record for Wales. I think the biggest surprise is that she hasn't got it already, if I'm honest. You know, after that first half in the first Croatia game and that first game where she got a couple, I thought it could be done that night. So the fact that we're still here a couple of months later, but she's just such an incredible player, person, ambassador for the country, not just in football, but in everything. And she thoroughly deserves all the plaudits she gets. And I think I've probably had more attention around losing the record than I ever did when I got the record. But I'm gonna leave her to it. She's, as I said, she deserves every minute of the plaudits. Well, at the moment, you're both joint top scorers, as I said. She will enjoy this moment, won't she? Especially if that record does come just for her.
Yeah, she definitely will. But she's also very humble about her achievements, and she'd be very grateful for the opportunities that she's had, but she is an unbelievable person. She's an unbelievable player, and like Hel said, it's thoroughly deserved, and I'm sure she will break it at some point, Hel's. But yeah, she deserves everything. She does indeed. Well, Rhiannon Wilkinson is enjoying herself, isn't she, as Wales manager at the moment, unbeaten so far. And I'm just wondering how the new man at the helm with the men's side will get on. Yes, here he is, Craig Bellamy, announced this week as Rob Page's successor.
Wales has always been really important to me. I've spent a lot of my career away from here as well. And obviously I've had certain periods where I've been here, but I was born here. I've spent a lot of my career away from here, and the opportunity then to lead your national team is rare. It's rare, and to get it as a first opportunity, it became clear to me that if there was an opportunity of being able to do this, this is the one I wanted, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, he seems pretty happy, doesn't he? He was amongst the favourites. Does he feel, Helen, like the right man for the job?
I think so, and I think, you know, a lot of question marks have come up around his experience or lack of. But when you look at previous managers, Chris Coleman, Gary Speed even, they didn't necessarily have exceptional records in club football in management, but they came in and they took the job because they're passionate about it and it meant something to them. And I think that's exactly the same with Craig Bellamy. And he's obviously held in really high regard as a coach. Vincent Kompany's taken him to most teams. He obviously hasn't gone over to Bayern Munich. I think he was in contention for the Burnley job as well. So he's held in high regard, and that drive, that desire, he's going to get the boys playing for him. Obviously, the proof will be in the pudding when we see them play and how he sets up, whether he's going to change things. But I'm excited to see him get going.
Yeah, and the first opponents for him will be Turkey, tough opponents. He says he's watched them 8 times already. He's hitting the ground running. He's getting his homework in very quickly.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a good sign. It shows how excited he is to take on the role, and you do it as players when you're coming up against opponents, and you're so excited to play the game that you want to learn everything about them, and he's obviously doing that. Turkey are really tough. They had a real good Euros, and it will be a tough challenge, but one that is definitely ready for. And he's obviously been a player before, so he knows what to expect from a manager, so hopefully he'll bring that too.
Yeah, and as a player, he never made it to a major tournament with Wales. And I'm sure as a manager, he would love to be the man to get Wales back to that stage, the top stage, international stage, where they now feel that they belong.
Yeah, I mean, since 2016, we've been a bit spoiled, haven't we? 3 tournaments out of 4 with the 2 Euros and the World Cup, and just missing out on these Euros by the stroke of a penalty. And things could have been really different, but tournament football is now where Wales expects to be, rightly or wrongly. That's how we feel as a nation now, and it's up to Craig Bellamy to go out there and lead his team to hopefully another World Cup.
Well, there we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding, as they say. So there we have it. Craig Bellamy comes in. We're now going to concentrate on one player leaving her club, Lois Joel. She might come on, actually, in the second half, leaving the London City Lionesses. So we're next for the midfielder. Alex Richards has been for a little catch-up with her.
Nice! You told me you were a beginner.
I try. Thank you, yeah.
That was a nice shot.
Thank you.
Well, in my eyes, it was a nice shot.
It was okay.
So have you got a handicap?
Not that good yet, no.
Is that the aim, though?
Yeah, the aim, me and the girls said, to get good enough that by next summer, we're going to go on a little golf holiday and it not be a total waste of money, basically.
So are you saying that you're going to become like the next Gareth Bale?
Sorry, that was actually...
Judging by that shot, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, Wales, golf. No, I won't say that, actually. Maybe me and Gareth can get on the course one day. That would be a dream.
So have you made a par yet?
First par the other day.
Nice.
That was honestly probably the second proudest I've been after making my debut for Wales. So, yeah, it was up there with achievements.
That's quite a big statement.
Yeah, I'll stick with it. Yeah.
So what was that moment like, making your debut?
Yeah, it was honestly an unreal day. My family came, my mum and my nan was there, which made it super special. And yeah, you never know if you're going to get on or not, you have like a feeling, but yeah, they were in the stands and got to come on against Ireland, and the girls played amazing, and yeah, a great day. Honestly, a very proud day for me and my family.
Being involved in these Euro qualifiers, what has that meant to you?
Yeah, obviously big, important time for us, and we don't shy away from the pressure, and we know what it takes, and a lot of the girls have been so close before, so it's just about, you know, learning from them, trying to help the team in any way I can, and just, you know, take game by game and make sure we get on the right path to qualifying. And I know we can do it, and everyone on camp knows that we can do it. So yeah, it's just about actually going out and getting the results that we need and finally crossing the line.
We've seen you play a few different positions. Do you have a favourite, somewhere you prefer to play?
I'll play anywhere that I need to. I don't mind. Yeah, wherever she sees fit, that's where I'll play. But yeah, can play a bit of wing back, a bit of midfield. Don't have a preference really. Just yeah, try and find my way on the pitch and help the team.
Not a bad swing, I have to say. Hannah, I know you're slightly annoyed with us because we never took you to play golf, and you yourself are a bit of a golfer, am I right in saying?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I do really enjoy it, and I think I took it up a similar time as Lois, but yeah, I did have a little bit of a bone to pick with you because I was slightly fuming, but I'll let you off. It's all right.
We'll take you to Spain or something. We'll take you to a golf course
yeah,
there. There
absolutely.
We are. Do you play at all?
Hold you to that.
I have tried. I have tried in the past, but I don't get time. My husband plays all the golf in my house.
Oh, well, there we are. As you say, there's no time then. Lois Joel then, an interesting character. As I said, been released from her club, the London City Lionesses. It'll be interesting to see what her next move is.
Yeah, a bit of a shock, actually. She captained them all last season, so I was a little bit shocked when I saw it myself, but she's an unbelievable talent, and I've known her for years. Come through the ranks with her at youth when we were both at the England setup, and she's a great talent, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see where she goes next.
And of course, you spotted this talent, Helen, because you were part of the coaching team in charge when she had that first cap.
Yeah, she's a really good kid. I don't know if I can call her a kid. I call everyone a kid these days. But as Hannah said, she's got lots of talent. She's versatile as well, which really helps, especially in a system that doesn't always suit every player. If you can come and do a job at wing back, or you can go into that midfield. I've seen her mostly as a midfielder, but I think she's got a lot of attributes that can suit the style of play that Wales want to play, and she's a really good character. She settled in really quickly once she came into the group, and yeah, she's made friends quickly, which always helps. And you know, she's gone on and done really well. Made a full debut last camp, which would have been a really proud moment for her too. So I'm excited to see how she develops.
Do you think we'll see her now in the second half, or is Rhian Wilkinson, considering they've only got that 1-goal lead, and we've seen in the past what can happen when Wales are dominating play, possession, but they slightly switch off in defence?
Yeah, at times, and we saw a couple of sort of glimpses of that in the first half, but I think the back three recovered really well to make some vital interceptions. But I mean, Rhian Wilkinson's not afraid to make changes. We know that. There's been half-time subs in nearly all the games so far. I don't expect to see that at half-time in this one, but I think there will be changes during that second half, and she'll utilise the squad. I envisage another couple of goals at least, so that will maybe give her the chance to have a look at a few more players.
Yeah, because Croatia, they haven't offered much, have they? There's been a couple of breaks possibly, but nothing that's maybe made us worried that they're going to get a goal.
Yeah, it's just kind of been a long ball into our half, but defence have dealt with it quite easily. And yeah, I kind of see them being changes in the second half, but I just don't think nothing needs to change right now. We're playing well, we're dominating, and it'd be nice to give the players on the pitch a little bit longer to try and get some more goals.
I'd say give Jess Fishlock a rest.
Yeah, well, of course.
You just want them to save you.
It is very warm out there as well. Yeah, I wonder, is Jess Fishlock going to get that record very, very soon? The players are coming back out to the pitch. Helen Ward is, well, I don't know, are we hoping she's going to get it? We're not sure. I'll ask you later. There we are. OK, let's go back to commentary then and join Katie and Simon.
Thank you, Catherine. Well, one thing's for sure. Jess's legendary status is secured, as is Helen Ward's, of course. But the record could be broken in this second half. And with 44 goals, Jess is eyeing many more in a Welsh shirt. As far as this evening is concerned, Katie Sherwood, 1-0, so far so good. What would you like to see more of, perhaps, in this second half?
I think more of the same, but can we add a bit more of a clinical edge to our game? There's definitely more goals from this team, and I expect more goals, but it's just those decisive moments in and around the box. Can we be more clinical and more ruthless?
I think Catherine made the point there with Hannah and Helen that Croatia really haven't threatened Olivia Clark in the Wales goal all that much, but every time there has been a counter-attack, we've been wary.
Yeah, it's just making sure we stay professional and we stay alert in defence, and we don't cause any of our own problems, but they're not offering much, so it's just all about what Wales do with the ball.
And conditions very, very humid in Croatia tonight. And Croatia feel the need to make a change, it seems. And Kanjevac is about to come on here. She is a Hajduk split player. And clearly that is an indication that Croatia feel that they really need to do something different, because Wales, as we mentioned in that first half, completely dominant, and it's Jelencic who is making way. So it's Kanjevac on and Jelencic off. But Wales will be looking for more of that dominance. Just keep up what they were doing in the most part.
Yeah, I think we can definitely move the ball quicker and try and commit players out of those positions and disorganise their defence a little bit more, but it's all about the way we shift the ball.
And straight away, it's a stoppage, and straight from kickoff, and an awkward landing here. Well, much like we saw in the first half, Wales looked to get the ball forward from the off, but in this case it was Croatia who were, and it was a real nasty clash of heads there. And it was Dulcic who clashed with Ella Powell there. I think the intention of Ella Powell was to get the ball But it's not a nice sight to see this.
Yeah, I think it's the clash of heads and also the way that she falls. I think it's also the impact when she hits the ground.
Well, she seems to be okay. Dulcic just been walked off the pitch here. An eventful start to this second half. Of course, if Croatia were to win this evening, then, as you pointed out earlier, Katie, they would win the group. As things stand, Wales on course to do that, you would feel, with a game against Kosovo to come. And what that means in terms of seedings is that Wales, in theory, would get an easier playoff or a more favourable playoff in the hunt for a place at the European Championships. And as Evans clears it away, in theory, it works. Doesn't always work out like that, mind you.
And that was exactly the expectation when we came down into this lower league, that we could really assert ourselves and finish top.
Powell's ball, looking for Holland.
And take those lessons from the League A into this league and really assert ourselves and show what we can do. We did in the first 2 games. For whatever reason, we weren't able to execute that in the next 2 games. We're definitely looking more composed and fluid.
Rowe almost fell to Fishlock there. Ball up to Markovic. Here's Gemma Evans. Hasn't really put a foot wrong tonight so far. Neither has Hayley Ladd or Rhiannon Roberts for that matter. Here is Ladd. Ingle. Fishlock in space. And the sliding tackle from Powell. Well, that was a receipt maybe for the earlier challenge. Dulcic and Powell. An interesting contest between those two so far.
Well, I think they're not shy of a challenge, are they? We knew they were going to be physical. But she jumped straight back up again, Ella Powell. She's made a strong step.
Yeah, credit to her. It was a lunge.
It's great to see Sophie Ingle back in the centre of the park as well. We've seen her drop into defence, didn't we? But she's so much more effective when she's higher at the pitch, dictating the play. Her best attribute is her distribution. And she's so important, that important cog in midfield.
She's a baller, as the kids say. Well, it's Roberts back to Olivia Clark. Of course, the other point as well is when you consider the likes of Ingle and Fishlock, who've got many years ahead of them, hopefully. You know, Rhian Wilkinson is very aware about bringing the next generation through. And hopefully, in this campaign, and indeed in the playoffs, we'll see 1 or 2 emerge maybe. Here's Holland, who's been a mainstay of this Wales team. But they need to come through the ranks.
Yeah, there's definitely fresh talent there waiting to come through, and it's been a trend of Wilkinson to introduce new faces into the squads. But it's important because, like you said, Jessica Fishlock, Sophie Ingle, Kayleigh Barton, they can't go on forever. So it's important when the opportunities arise that you put these young players into these environments so they know what the high standards are, and it's not a shock then when they have to step in and deliver.
Holland with a throw. Barton has dropped deep and releases James. Fishlock. Again, Croatia, you can see just sitting back, so 2 banks of defenders for Wales to try and get through, and Rowe almost did that with a clever turn. We saw that from the off, didn't we, from Croatia, the way, even when the formation graphic first appeared from UEFA, we both saw it, you could see it was a very defensive mindset.
And even when they conceded, they haven't changed anything, have they? Even though, you know, you go a goal down, they're still happy just to sit in, frustrate Wales, and then look to play really direct when they do win the ball back.
Kerry Holland seems to have recovered from that earlier blow in the first half, where she did seem to be limping a bit. Not too many options for Holland here. Could go long. She needs someone just to drop short. That's what Barton does. And it's another throw. you're just restricted there by the way that Croatia have set up.
Yeah, they're denying the space, aren't they? So that's where you need those movements, those rotations to try and drag them out of position.
Evans, back to Clark, who's come out of the penalty box here. It's a nice pass to Roberts. Hayley Ladd of Manchester United. Evans, her club teammate. See Fishlock dropping a bit deeper in this second half so far.
I like that, though. I like that it's not rigid in those central areas and they have that license to express themselves a little bit more. It's not predictable. And these players have been playing with each other for a long time. They know what each other's strengths are. They know each other's movements.
So just for the benefit of those who are unaware of the qualification process, Wales have already guaranteed themselves a playoff place. Because the top 3 in each group guaranteed of that, but the group winners would then play one of the third-place teams. So the theory being that a top-seeded team would have an easier passage, maybe, to the playoff finals. I think at some stage, Katie, Wales are going to play a good team anyway if they're to get to Switzerland. They're going to have to play a decent team at some stage.
Yeah, if we finish top, then we should play someone from League B or League C, if I'm correct, which we should get through. And then that big final game will be against a higher ranked nation. And that's where our experience in the Nations League Group A will come into play.
Rachel Rowe. It's a slower tempo at the moment for Wales in this second half. They came out of the starting block so quickly in that first half. But here is Ella Powell. Has run out of room here, but it was Pazil who was sticking to her like glue. I think you said in that first half you'd like to see Wales just step up a gear, maybe.
Yeah, just a little bit more urgency. We know we're dominating possession, but can we go up the gears a little bit more?
Fishlock tried the flick onto Barton. Holland is free on the Welsh right. And that ball was intended for Fishlock, but it's back out with Holland. Kanjavac sticking to her. Rowe. Just try to feed it through to Kerry Holland there. Yeah, it's a slower pace at the moment, but Wales still firmly in control. I wonder if Rhian Wilkinson will make changes. She's not adverse to doing that. In fact, surprises us sometimes with the selections she makes. There's certainly plenty of options on that subs bench. The likes of Lily Wood and maybe, who can get forward as a wing back. And a few unknown players as well. The uncapped Tiana Tizer. Ellen Jones hasn't won a cap either, so we shall wait and see what they do.
And I think when we go back to, you know, the conditions they're playing in, the heat, and they're out of season.
Fishlock's in here. Well, it caught the Croatians by complete surprise. A simple throw-in, and Fishlock knows that was a chance.
Yeah, the ball's right across the front of goal there. Someone has to be bursting to get on the end of that.
Well, I think even Jess Fishlock was surprised by the room that she had. It sat up beautifully for her. You wouldn't have bet against her taking the volley on and aiming for goal. Still a tight angle, though. Still remains 1-0. And maybe Wales can only really start to relax, Katie, if they can get that second goal.
Yeah, Croatia haven't been able to assert themselves at all, have they, really, in an attacking sense? But when it stays at 1-0, there's always a chance, an opportunity to get back into the game.
Gemma Evans running the ball out of play. Gemma Evans, this is her 66th cap, the run-the-born player And I'm sure another player who will have been really sad at the events at Reading at the moment as a former Reading player was the financial difficulties of which Charlie Escort, a player for Wales, spoke very passionately about in the media this week. Spoke really well as well.
I thought she spoke really well during a very difficult time. You know, a dark day for women's football, that uncertainty around the club that she's playing at for a while. And sadly, a harsh reality of where the game still is in some areas of the game, in some leagues and some tiers. You know, like you said, lots of these players have played at Reading, and they were a very much a well-established team.
Yeah, there was a real Welsh contingent at one point. Rachel Rowe was there. Of course, going back even further, Jane Ludlow, of course.
Yeah, the manager. I think she got them promoted the time she was manager.
Very important figure at Reading. So we wish those players well. Here is Kanjovic. Watched by Fishlock. You just saw when Jess Fishlock scored that goal, she was wary, I think, of the record, and that is Markovic, who has got stuck in two minds there. Well, whereas Jess Fishlock showed great quality in front of goal, you've got to say Markovic took a heavy touch there.
But that's a wake-up call. We can't allow that to happen. Good teams are going to punish you. Again, it's just that one ball over the top. We've been caught with a high line and she's able to get in behind.
Markovic, who actually taken the right first touch, she would have been in on goal there. James into Ingle. Fishlock. That's a late challenge. The referee felt that the ball was won. No, has brought the play back because Norwich penalised.
Yeah, that's a naughty challenge there. I think the ref was initially playing advantage.
Well, Fishlock has stayed down here. Yeah, clearly no contact with the ball.
But I think, again, if we move the ball quicker, we're not going to invite them to be able to have the opportunity to do that. It's very one-paced at the moment. We need to inject, I think, a little bit of energy, a little bit of urgency.
Yeah, it's been a slow start to the second half. Thankfully, Fishlock is on her feet. And a very central free kick this here. I think it's the type that Rachel Rowe would prefer if it was out wide. Get that angle. It was good refereeing from the Spanish official. And it will in fact be Kerry Holland to take. Holland's ball flicked on towards Ingle. Evans hits the post. Ingle with the second chance. How did it not go in? And that would have settled any Welsh nerves. So close.
I felt like we were watching that in slow motion then.
It's another ball. Fishlock! Oh, and she hits the upright. Wouldn't have counted anyway. There was a flag. But suddenly this second half has come alive.
And that's the energy that I'm talking about, Simon. Just that creativity, the runs off the ball. She is offside, but that is typical Jessica Fishlock. Intelligent run to get in behind. And that's the second goal that this team really needs.
Well, that was slow motion. That was ultra slow motion there, that replay. It just seemed to float onto the post. But Wales, encouragingly, close to a second goal now. It was intelligent play from Ingle, in fact, just to put it into the path of Gemma Evans. And then as for the Fishlock chance, well, it was great invention with the first touch. Here's Powell. Got the cross in, but reached the side netting. She's had a real battle on this left wing, Ella Powell.
I don't think we've utilised this left-hand side enough, though, have we? As everything's been down the right. Can we make that switch and utilise the other side of the pitch a little bit more?
It's going to be a change. And it's Krajinovic who is about to come on. And it's Leuna. Hasn't been the most effective of forward players for Croatia tonight. This was the one outlet has been Markovic with those balls over the top. Here comes Krajinovic. And I don't think Rian Wilkinson feels the need to make any changes at the moment, the way things are going, the way that the game has panned out. That could change, of course.
I'd be surprised if she doesn't utilise some players off the bench. Like we said, it's a difficult time of season. Players haven't played 90 minutes, apart from the American Seattle players.
Yeah, we've got a fair contingent of those now. Fishlock, Woodham, and Harry James. A good move as well for Charlie Escort as well, out to Washington after the unfortunate events at Reading. Goes back to Vracevic, and it's a free kick. Well, it wouldn't be a Wales international without Kayleigh Barton getting her socks and shorts muddied. Fully committed player.
You can never question her work rate, can you?
And a good opportunity this for Rachel Rowe of Southampton. That's one thing perhaps we could see improvement of, that delivery maybe from set pieces. It's been the odd one or two.
Yeah, and just the runs as well, those timings of the runs into the box.
Rowe has gone short. It's a clever one. Holland's cross, Spartan. Well, it came into her really quickly. And just tried to steer the header on target, but she was always leaning back from it, I think.
Yeah, she just couldn't adjust her body position in enough time, could she, just to redirect the ball towards goal. But a better delivery into the box.
Powell with the throw for Wales. Nice turn from Rowe. Powell again. Well, good pressure from Croatia to stifle the likes of Rowe and Powell. But it's Roberts with room now. Crossing towards Barton, falls for Fishlock. Tried the back heel to James. Good sliding interception from Harry James, just to stop that counter-attack.
Yeah, really important there. Not allowing Croatia to break quickly. Good numbers around the ball. And that's what you want from that central midfield player, to protect, shield the ball, win it back, and turn over possession again.
Aimless throw, really, for Never-Clark. Bacic with the clearance out towards where Rian Wilkinson is, at the bottom of your screen there. Very animated on the touchline. Barton. Oh, almost through to Ella Powell. Started to use this width on the left-hand side a little bit more now, Wales. There's Powell again. Rowe. Wicked delivery. Could be there for Ingle! 2-0, and that will settle some of the nerves for Wales. Chelsea's Sophie Ingle was there to pounce, and it's Croatia 0, Wales 2.
Yeah, that's the goal that they really needed, didn't they, to settle those nerves. But it comes from exploiting the space out wide. It's congested in the middle. It's composed, calm play, and it's a deep ball in from Rachel Rowe. Good numbers in the box. Fishlock keeps the ball alive, and Ingle is there to pounce and hit the ball home.
Her 140th cap. Remarkably, only her 6th goal for Wales, but it's 2-0. And that has prompted a double change. Fionn Morgan and Carrie Jones coming on. And Rachel Rowe, one of those making way. Well, whether those subs were planned, but I think with the scoreline at 2-0 now, there is that feeling, I think, from Rhian Wilkinson that she could afford to make that double change.
Yeah, the pressure's off a little bit. We know Croatia are not able to assert themselves in attack. It's about how Wales now can really put this game to bed. And it's great to see Carrie Jones on the pitch, having another opportunity to showcase what she can do and inject a little bit of pace as well with Fionn Morgan and really stretch that back line.
Well, Rhian Wilkinson knows that this game is not over yet, deep in conversation with John Gray and her assistants there.
But it's great to have that depth as well coming off the bench, something that we haven't had over the years, been blessed with. To have that fresh talent and that young talent coming through is really important for the future.
And a stoppage here because Bacic, the goalkeeper, when trying to stop Sophie Ingle, I think picked up a foot injury. But for all the talk of the next generation, it is the goals of Fishlock and Ingle that have put Wales in this excellent position. And how many times have we said that over the years, Katie?
A lot, Simon, and it's just having that blend, isn't it? That experience, the youth, and players like Fionn Morgan. She's been around this squad for a long time, so she's also an experienced player because she's been in this environment since the Jane Ludlow days. So that's why it's so important that those youngsters are being fed through into the senior team when the time is right. Because Fionn Morgan was one of those players a long time ago, and now she's really starting to become a consistent player coming off the bench and an impact player for Wales.
Yeah, she has made a terrific impact in many of the games. I think the next step for her will be, as you say, to be a main starter in this 11. But I think from an attacking point of view, it's been really encouraging for Wales tonight to see someone like Ella Powell come in. Kerry Holland has been as active as ever.
Yeah, you want Wilkinson to have a little bit of a headache with selection, and that's what keeps that competitiveness up in training, where she doesn't yet know her strongest 11. She's still finding that, isn't she?
Match of the Day Wales comes live from Llanelli on Tuesday. Wales against Kosovo from 5:45 on BBC Two Wales television. Join Catherine as ever and all of us for what we hope will be confirmation of Wales finishing top of their group. And then it's all about the playoffs. We won't look too far ahead. We don't want to get too nervous.
One game at a time, Simon.
I always get kicked by Gwen and Harris whenever I start saying such things, but we so hope that Wales can get to a major tournament. We've said it so many times. I mean, this Welsh team and this Welsh setup meant so much to young girls and to Welsh football in general, but to get to a major tournament would be the next level, wouldn't it?
It would just be the dream. It's been a long, old journey, development, and we've seen this team come a long, long way, and it's just trying to get over the line.
And it's so far so good tonight. 2-0, Fishlock and Ingle. Here's Ladd. Just confirmation of those changes. It's Morgan and Carrie Jones on for Rowe and for Powell. Barton chasing the ball back. Under pressure there, Bacic. Carrie Jones is a player who we were so excited about when she first came on the scene. Was at Manchester United, of course. He's moved on to pastures new since then at Bristol City. Definite talent there, and just hope that she can kickstart that early progress that she showed.
Yeah, I think we forget how young Carrie Jones is, and she's been around this team for a long time as well. But she's so good at operating in those tight little spaces, and when she has the ball to her feet, she uses her body really well to turn. She's always scanning.
And here she is, the 20-year-old. Ball through to Morgan. Bacic will collect.
She has great awareness to bring others into play as well. And there's so much more to come from her.
There's a real football brain there, isn't there?
Yeah, a really intelligent player.
Wayward pass. And Wales have a throw. Yeah, great for Sophie Ingle to cap her 140th appearance with a goal. Of course, in women's football, 140, of course, it's a great achievement, but when you consider that Rhian Wilkinson won 181 caps for Canada, it shows that she's got some way to go to being a record breaker. Same for Jess Fishlock as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive number, 940, isn't it?
331 is the Canadian record holder, by the way, Christine Sinclair. The world record holder is Christine Lilly of the United States, 354. So some way to go yet for the likes of Fishlock and Ingle. Here is Ingle.
It's probably all the Olympic Games they went to.
Of course. Ladd has racked up the caps herself. Barton. Morgan has got pace. Jones. With a ball that could fall to Barton, who was in an offside position, but she would have been played on as it came off a Croatian player.
I'd love to see Fia Morgan just be a little bit more selfish. She has pace to burn. Just be more direct, have a little bit more self-belief in yourself, because she has the ability to do it.
Fishlock. And as we keep saying, she has pace to burn. And that is something that Wales could really utilise. Here's Anhara James. Well, it's not quite at walking pace yet, but Wales firmly in control. And the need to just not take any risks. You know, on that occasion, we almost jinxed it there, but I think Clark did find touch comfortably, but time to be professional is now. James gets an important touch towards Fishlock. Roberts. Yeah, we've seen late goals in this campaign so far, so that will be clear in the mind of Rhian Wilkinson. Just get over the line.
Yeah, it's about managing the game, isn't it? Keeping your nerve and just keep doing the right things, the simple things. Recycle the ball, start again, and keep moving around the ball to be an option.
Carrie Jones. Oh, that ball being in front of Fia Morgan, she would have been away. Morgan watched by Dulcich, who's put in a few heavy challenges. Did so on Ella Powell. Ingle. Nice turn from Fishlock. Against Kanjovic. I don't think Rhian Wilkinson will mind this. Ball retention. There's passing with purpose now. Morgan. James. And Gemma Evans has pushed forward. Evans' cross, too close to the keeper. But it came after a series of 10, 11, 12 passes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as we're keeping possession and progressing up the field, that is the main purpose.
Evans. Ingle, one of the goal scorers. Of course, Croatia have a final game against Ukraine to come. And at this point, it would seem like a battle for second place. Don't want to jinx it too much, but Wales in a really good position and still unbeaten in this group. But it's one of those counter-attacks. Markovic takes on Jay, takes on Evans. Markovic's cross. Ladd did enough. It was that ball over the top again.
Yeah, we're just getting a little bit complacent, aren't we? You know, not enough pressure on the ball. She makes that look very easy to go past Gemma Evans, and that's not an easy thing to do.
And it's resulted in a corner. Thankfully, Ladd was up to the task. A double change coming up here. Glibo and Justina. Krasnaric, one of those making way. And the other being Slipčević. So it's now 4 changes in all made by Croatia in this game. I think a roll of the dice, really. And it looks as though Wales, Katie, making a double change of their own.
Yeah, it's great to see these 2 players coming on. I'll leave it to you to introduce them, Simon.
Well, one of them, Alice Griffiths, is a Southampton player, 23 years of age. This, of course, her 8th cap. And will Wales get the chance to make this double change before the Croatian corner? I don't think they will. So there are pressing matters first for this Welsh defence. Well, it was wasted, really. And that will be of huge frustration to the Croatian coach, Nenad Gracin. You know, they haven't had many set pieces in this game, and a delivery like that just won't threaten Wales at all. Here come the changes then. And Maisie Davis is one of those to replace Rhiannon Roberts, in fact. Good shift from Rhiannon Roberts. I think she would have been disappointed with mistakes she made in Llanelli against Ukraine. But has really put in a performance tonight. And what is there left to say about Jess Fishlock?
Just a typical Jessica Fishlock performance. Delivers when needed. But Rhiannon Roberts, I think that's the performance she needed going into these next few games. A little bit out of form of late, but put things right here this evening.
And Maisie Davis, 17 years of age. First called up by John Gray for that game against the Republic of Ireland. Comes from a football family. Her father, John, a former Flint and Chester player. And she, of course, at Manchester United, so comes with great pedigree.
Yeah, what an opportunity for her to showcase what she can do. And Rhian Wilkinson showing that trust and belief that she has in such a young player.
Well, the foul went against Evans, but I think there was a bit of collateral damage there for the challenge on Dulcic. I think she hit her face.
Yeah, it looks as though the player's come across and her knee's hit, or her boot has hit Evans in the face.
She's not the type to stay down for long.
No, she's a no-nonsense centre-half, isn't she? Take a lot to keep her down.
66th cap. Real unsung hero in many ways for Wales. Gemma Evans has been absolute stalwart of the last 2 or 3 managers. And Jane Ludlow, in fact, before Gemma Granger. So free kick, Croatia. And it is a packed 6-yard area with 10 minutes remaining. It's a better delivery this time for Croatia. Good fall for Mikulica. Put back in, and James gets it away, calmly away. And Barton has Fiona Morgan in support. Wins the ball back. Wanted a free kick and gets it. Well, Dulcic has put in a few tasty challenges herself all evening, and she wasn't happy about that decision. I don't think she gave too many complaints.
No, absolutely not. She's been throwing herself about these 80 minutes, haven't she? I think these next 10 minutes are really important for Wales now. How they manage the game. They cannot let Croatia in. They have to look after the ball a lot better.
Because we know, Katie, if it gets to 2-1, it's a different game then all of a sudden.
Yeah, the momentum will swing with Croatia. It's important that they see this game out and keep doing the right things.
Kerry Holland indicates where she's going to put this. Plenty to aim for in there. Holland, well, it's too close to the goalkeeper again. Bacic, who did well amidst a crowd of players. Although that right foot that she injured earlier seems to be giving her discomfort. Oh, it was an awkward landing. Yeah, she just seemed to...
She's obviously got some weakness there, hasn't she, from the earlier challenge.
It will be a drop ball in Croatia's possession. And credit to those Welsh fans we can hear singing their hearts out. And I tell you what, the atmosphere when Wales do play those playoff games at home should be a real event, because there's so much at stake. Of course, it would be a two-legged semi-final and then a two-legged final as well. So it's...
That red ball is going to be so important, isn't it?
There's a long way to go.
Yes, stop getting ahead of ourselves.
But it's been the performance and so far the result that we wanted tonight. Was that a foul throw? I think it was.
I think it's the performance that this team really needed as well, just to give them that psychological edge going into the next game and going into those playoffs. Getting back to the standards and the expectations that they set upon themselves, and we set upon them as well, because we do have high expectations of them, because they have really set the bar.
Davis back to Clark. Ladd. Gemma Evans will just about keep this in play. And Wales have earned the right to do this, just to keep the ball. There's remaining 7 minutes. There will be a bit of injury time as well. And then a quick recovery for that game against Kosovo. Quarter to 6 next Tuesday on BBC Two Wales. Really looking forward to that one, and I think will we see young players like Fia Morgan get a game against Kosovo? Here she is, just attacking that Croatia goal, but again, a heavy touch. But it just goes to show that pace can be such a weapon for Wales.
Oh, it is electric, and we've got to find a way to utilise it even more. That was a great ball by Alice Griffiths, by the way, to set Fia Morgan free. She's a very special talent coming through. I don't think we've talked about her enough. It's difficult for her because she's trying to break into a centre midfield with our most experienced players, but her time will come, and she's definitely a player to look to for the future.
Yeah, has been at Southampton a couple of years now. Of course, all started for her at Kincoid Ladies, Cardiff Met as well. And here she is on the ball now.
Yeah, she's really composed on the ball, able to use both feet, and a real physical presence in that central midfield.
Throw in to be taken by Fia Morgan, playing for Bristol City, proud Welsh speaker. Not too many options for her here. Carrie Jones or Barton has made this short run. It does take the pressure off that game against Kosovo on Tuesday a little bit. Of course, there's still a result to be had there. Wales have still got to be professional, but you would firmly expect them to beat Kosovo with respect.
Yeah, it's a game you definitely expect them to win. Hopefully we can go and enjoy the occasion a little bit and get a good crowd at the game.
And it's not a case of looking over your shoulder, looking at events elsewhere. But it's there in Wales' own hands to
But it's also the preparation going into that semi-final playoff, so it is really important.
Ball up towards Griffiths. Just trying to dispossess Vracevic there. It is Vracevic who goes to ground, wins the free kick. I think that second goal was killed off Croatia as well. You know, apart from the odd ball over the top, it's really sort of...
But they haven't done enough in this game,
it
haven't
felt
they?
like a blow to them, didn't it, that second goal in particular? But you're right, they haven't done enough. Evans. Not to dispossess Dulcic. Here's Morgan. Good sliding tackle there by Pazil. Here's Justina. And it's just that final ball for Croatia. They get to a certain point, and we've seen that with Markovic. Get into the penalty area, just that final ball, that final bit of quality hasn't been there.
No, they've just lacked that quality, haven't they? That little bit of elite play in and around the box.
Ingle evades the tackle, has it back in the centre circle. James alongside it. This is nice play. Griffiths, nice pass to Holland. Penalty. Well, it was made by the pass from Griffiths, and Holland was brought down, and Wales have the chance to really finish this now.
Yeah, it was a really good weighted ball into the stride of Kerry Holland. An early ball into the box.
Well, the hand was in an unnatural position. And as we've seen plenty of times in the men's European Championship so far in the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
It's a penalty. Well, no surprises that Kayleigh Barton's going to take this. Saw a score in the last game, roof of the net on that occasion. Can she make it 3-0 to Wales? Kayleigh Barton shutting out the boos from the Croatian crowd. And how? Another excellent penalty from Kayleigh Barton, and that seals it for Wales now. 3-0, job done.
Is that 3 from 3 penalties now for Barton? Impressive.
And the keeper guessed the right way, Katie, but still stood no chance.
Yeah, it's all about the technique here. The power, the accuracy. Great mentality there from Kayleigh Barton.
And what a way to silence the boos. It was a pressure kick. And her last kick of the game, it seems. And it's Lily Woodham who comes on in her place. Job done for Wales, and it's been a professional job from the off, really.
Yeah, we've been comfortable from the off, haven't we? Really dominated. There's definitely some areas we need to tighten up on. I think that direct ball has caught us off guard a couple of times, but I think we've been really assured in build-up play, movement off the ball. Can we add a little bit more clinical edge? But yeah, a really assured performance.
Exactly what Rhian Wilkinson was looking for. And that bodes well for Tuesday. I mean, Rhian Wilkinson might feel the need to make changes for that, but it just sets up that game beautifully now, doesn't it? But Wales are heading, it seems, for top spot in the group. They can confirm that on Tuesday. But this was the big one, you feel?
Yeah, I just think it shows the resilience and mentality of this group. You know, off the back of a tough camp, to be able to deliver performance like this when you're out of season, away from home, it just shows the mentality of this group.
Holland again looking threatening. Ingle. Yeah, there was great pressure on that kick from Barton. A few boos in the crowd. Griffiths towards Morgan. Woodham. Griffiths! Good touch from the goalkeeper. Just tipped it over. And why not when you're 3-0 up?
I love that confidence. Really positive. It opens up for her. I love that from Alice Griffiths.
The keeper wasn't quite sure, so put it out for a corner. We are in added time. And it will be Kerry Holland this time to take this corner kick. Late into injury time. It's an outswinger. And with so many players committed forward, Wales are going to be careful here, but well done, Fia Morgan. Well, it is that time of evening. Well, just to see if this move, well, as the ball is out of play, I will now ask you, Katie Sherwood, for your player of the match. And who have you gone with?
Such a high-pressure decision this time, but I'm going to go with Jessica Fishlock. I think a standout performance, just the whole package of her performance. What she does off the ball is so important for this team. Her runs off the ball, what she does in possession, and I think just getting that goal as well just was the icing on the cake.
So Jess Fishlock is Katie's player of the match, and I don't think too many will disagree with you. Well, the referee asking the throw-in to be taken in the correct place.
Player with number 21, Ana Maria Markovic, will be replaced by player with number 13, Elena Spaj.
Well, a throw into Wales. Woodham. Bit of a surprise that Lily Woodham didn't start this game. Has been a regular starter so far under Rhian Wilkinson.
Yeah, whether it's
a formation thing.
A formation thing, or she's carrying an injury, fatigue from the travel. There could be many reasons, couldn't it?
A ball through straight to Olivia Clark, who wouldn't have had too many easier nights, although when called upon has done her job. Here's Ingle. Well, is there a fourth goal in this for Wales? What a free kick. And this looks to be the last moment of the game. And it's a scoreline that reads very, very nicely for Welsh fans, for Rhian Wilkinson again, after those 2 games against Ukraine. And it's an excellent night in Croatia. Wales on course for a seeded place in the playoffs. And that is good news for their hopes of reaching Euro 2025. Convincing stuff. It's finished Croatia 0, Wales 3.
Well, they had a 1-0 lead at half-time, didn't they, Wales? But they managed to get another 2 in that second half. Former captain Sophie Ingle in her 140th game, scoring her 6th goal for her country. That was the second. There was a penalty then to add to the mix, and this is how the table looks then. Wales sitting pretty at the top of Group B4. A point against Kosovo on Tuesday will ensure that they stay there. Kosovo bottom of the pile without a point. So fingers crossed Wales can get the job done in Llanelli. Yes, very convincing in the end for Wales. In tough conditions, it has to be said. And history made this evening. We have to talk about Jess Fishlock, player of the match, equalling Helen's record goal scoring for her country.
Yeah, she had another great performance, and I think Jess is typical Jess. What you see is what you get, and every time she pulls on the shirt, she gives 110%, and you can see that in her performance again tonight. She looks as fresh as a daisy, and hopefully there's still many more games for her in a Welsh shirt. But yeah, an unbelievable finish, and like we said earlier, thoroughly deserved.
And she could have got another Helen. She could have got that record outright.
She could have done it. It would have been a worldie goal as well. Not only the technique and, you know, came close coming off the bar, but yeah, it was an almost moment for her, and I was sitting here biting my nails, but it would have been a fitting way to...
Helen, you say you were sat here biting your nails. This is what happens behind the scenes at Match of the Day. Now, I'm trying to read your body language there. Are we celebrating that we thought she'd scored and that she missed?
I was celebrating that I thought she'd broke the record, honest.
We believe you. We believe you. OK, then. Well, a night to remember for Jess Fishlock. Influential in that goal, Sophie Ingle, former captain, she got her own. Only her 6th goal, can you believe, for her country. 140 appearances for Wales. This is a good one from her as well.
Yeah, really good finish from Sophie. I think the desire she's shown, and actually it's quite a tricky little finish there. I know it's close in, but goalkeeper's coming out. She's lifted it over, comes off the post. But for me, I think for all of Sophie's attributes, I think she should probably score more goals than she does, but because she's the unselfish player she is, she often passes rather than shoots, but it's good to see it hit the back of the net tonight.
And this is a great penalty as well.
Yeah, what a finish, and she's got 3 and 3 now, and that's pretty hard to do when, like, a striker, you put so much pressure on yourself to score them, and yeah, Kay'll thrive off that. She loves high pressure situations, and you can see by her reaction to the crowd were giving her a bit of the boos, but she loves it. Great finish.
She does indeed. We're waxing lyrical here, but let's try to be constructive and talk about how they can improve going forward, because we know that now that they are in those playoffs, especially if they are seeded, they will possibly come up against better opponents and they will need to improve. In which aspects would you like to see that?
I think for the amount of possession they have in games, I'd like to see more goals. Probably. I know the first 2 games we saw 10 and then it's kind of gone a little bit quieter. I know we've seen 3 tonight, but it felt a struggle at times. Sometimes the ball speed is a little bit slow for me, but that can also be down to the opposition slowing you down, and it becomes a little bit lethargic. And I think when you come up against those better teams, you're almost forced to move it quicker, and that might suit Wales a little bit better. But I think overall they'll be pleased with the performance tonight, especially off the back of a disappointing camp back in June. But there are aspects to work on for sure.
Yeah, and July, as you've already mentioned, I think, or have in the past, it's a tough campaign as well. Hannah, I think you were getting quite nervy near the end, possibly worried that they are guilty of sometimes switching off slightly, Wales.
Yeah, I think we've seen it in the previous game, definitely, the last-minute one in the last game, and it does get a little bit nervy, and we're a little bit greedy. We think about, oh, let's just score more and more goals, but we probably do need to shut up shop a little bit quicker, and hopefully the better we get at that, the less nervy I'll be towards the end of games.
And it was nice at the end also, a couple of subs coming on, to see the balance between the experience and some of those younger players getting their opportunities as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think Alice Griffiths in particular came on and played really well, was a key part in the penalty, played a really great through ball to Kerry, who eventually won the penalty, played another couple of really nice passes, looks assured in there. So it's nice to see that the future's coming through, especially in that midfield area that we talk about so much. It's difficult to break in, but if there is someone hot on the heels of the likes of Sophie, Haz, Jess, Rachel, it's going to bode well for the future.
Tuesday night, they need a point against Kosovo, bottom of the table. Can they do it?
I'd like to think so. The performances that we've shown and the attacking qualities that we have, like I say, defensively, hopefully will be a little bit better. But yeah, I think what we've shown tonight, we've been confident, we've dominated possession. Hopefully we'll finish off a few more chances. Me and Hels will be very happy. But yeah, I'd like to think we'll get a good result.
OK, well, fingers crossed. Thank you very much both, Helen. Thank you especially because we've been very unkind to you. But it's been brilliant to have your company. And there we have it. Wales' job nearly done. One more game to go. Tuesday night in Llanelli. Join us 5:45. We know you'll be there. Good night. Nos da.
A win tonight should mean an easier playoff. Fishlock! Brilliant! In off the crossbar. Wales up and running. Evans hits the post. It's another ball. Fishlock! Oh, and she hits the upright. Wicked delivery. 2-0. And that will settle the nerves for Wales. 3-0. It's been a professional job.